He said you took his money.
He admitted that he had done it.
But his luck ran out at a casino.
There were 3 withdrawals that day.
I told him I bought 3 gaming tickets.
The refrigerated trailer ran out of fuel because he was in gambling.
You know that I think that you're a thief.
This is Judge Judy. Trucking company owner Michael Scharbach is suing his former employee, Mark Harrell, for making unauthorized charges on a company credit card.
Judge, this is case number 124 on the calendar in the matter of Scharbach versus Harrell.
Thank you, Bird. Mr. Scharbach, you at one point had a trucking company.
Still do.
And according to your complaint, at some point, you'll tell me when, you employed the defendant as a driver.
That's correct.
It is your claim that he misused a company credit card that you had given him to be used for business purposes in a trip that he was making, and it is your claim that he made charges on that when he was at a casino in 2 different states. The defendant said he personally only used the card for business expenses when the truck broke down during the course of the journey, and that when you questioned him subsequently large at the casino, he discovered that he no longer had the card and it must have been either lost or stolen. That's your answer. Correct, sir?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, let's have the dates, Mr. Scharbach, of the employment and the date of this trip.
His employment began on August 18th of this year.
What year?
This year.
And when did it terminate?
It terminated on September, I believe it was 22nd, when I paid him his last payment.
When you paid him his last salary check, is
Yes.
that? And what was that? What was that salary that you paid him on September 22nd?
It's here in the bank statement. It was $800 and $600, 2 different payments.
And that was for jobs that he did for you?
That was for driving and delivering the loads.
On what date or dates do you allege that he made these unauthorized charges on your credit card? Now, you gave him a credit card when he started to work in August.
Right, it's a
That was a
debit
business
card.
credit card.
It's a debit card to my account because when they're on the road, if they have a breakdown, need a tire, that kind of stuff, they got to have a card because they won't accept one over the phone.
And on what dates was he making this run when he used the card, according to you, for unauthorized charges?
Started on the 16th.
Just a second. And look at your statement and tell me where that unauthorized debit was made and at what place.
66 Casino in Albuquerque, New Mexico. There were 3 withdrawals that day.
And what were the 3 withdrawals?
One was $313. The other 2 were $416.50 each.
Pretty odd numbers.
Yeah, well, there's a story behind that if you would like to hear what he said.
I'm dying to hear what he said.
Okay, he was supposed to
You
deliver...
confronted him about these charges.
I most certainly did.
And this is at the Route 66 Casino.
Yes.
Just before I let you tell me his story, Mr. Harrell.
Yes, ma'am.
Were you ever at the Route 66 Casino in Albuquerque, New Mexico?
Yes, the truck stop.
Look at me. That's a yes.
Yes.
Now, he's going to tell me what you told him when confronted about these charges at the casino. Go.
Okay, when he finally called me, because I thought he had delivered Monday night like he was supposed to, because he wasn't answering his phone, he said that he had lost the key to the truck and had locked his phone inside, and he didn't remember my number. I know I knew his wife's number, and she had my number, but he called me Tuesday night, and the story he told me was that he had found the key about 10 feet away from the truck, a day and a half later.
What were the charges for?
He told me that there was a mechanic in a white pickup that was common, and he said he asked that mechanic if he could get him a key. And he said, the mechanic said, yes, it's $400. So he says he got $400 out of the casino. Well, the whole in that statement is the first withdrawal from the casino was $313. So if he had to give the guy $400 for a key, why did he draw $313?
Just a second. So is what you're telling him, Mr. Harrell, is all of these charges were related to the truck?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okie dokie. Did you get any receipts from any of those people?
No, I did not. And first, if I may clarify, it wasn't Tuesday that I called him. It was Monday before my delivery.
Okay.
No, it wasn't. It was Tuesday.
It was absolutely
Mr. Harrell, I want you to pay careful attention to me. I read your answer. And at some point, you said to your employer, oops, those aren't my charges. I don't have the card. I must have lost it, or it was stolen.
I never said it was stolen.
Or lost.
Yes.
Okay, that's what you said in your answer, because you said, I told him that those weren't my charges. I then realized I didn't have the card, and I must have left it somewhere.
In Oklahoma.
He told me not to worry about it. What?
In Oklahoma. I didn't leave it in Albuquerque.
It was then I realized I didn't have the card and that it must have been left somewhere. He told me not to worry because he would report his bank. That's what you wrote in your answer. That's what you swore to, sir. So there must have been some charges on the debit card that you disputed, that you said, those aren't my charges. I lost the card and somebody knew the PIN number in order to get into it, because you needed a PIN number, right?
No.
Yes,
you didn't need it. All you needed was the card.
To draw from an ATM.
It was ran credit. I didn't draw money out. I made a purchase.
Oh, you lie.
What did you purchase? What did you purchase?
So I purchased a gaming ticket, which is not cash.
A gaming ticket.
Correct.
Just a second. I'm asking you questions. It's going to get uglier. You purchased a gaming ticket. Well, that had nothing to do with the truck. And how much was the gaming ticket?
$300.
You know that I think that you're a thief. You may be a thief with a jacket and a tie, but did you tell your employer that you purchased a gaming ticket for $300? Yes.
No.
Interesting. So tell me at what point that you told him that you purchased a gaming ticket, because you needed a PIN number to take money out of an ATM. Tell me, I'm looking at your answer. When did you tell him that you had, in fact, done some spending at the casino?
Monday gaming tickets to pay for
Three gaming tickets?
Yes, because the mobile mechanic was the one that told me I could do that because he required cash. He would not take a card. But he said, if you buy the gaming ticket, I will take it and cash it in.
Oh, run this by me again. I love it. The mechanic from whom you do not have a receipt
or a name
told you to buy a gaming ticket. And what did you do with the gaming ticket?
I took it to him.
Don't look over there.
I gave it to him.
You gave him the gaming ticket?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you spent $300 for it?
Yes.
What else did you spend on the card?
Nothing.
Well, then why would it be relevant, sir? Why would it be relevant that you told him that you didn't have the card if you didn't spend anything on the card? Because if it was used at ATMs, if what the unauthorized purchases, which you said you didn't make, except for this gaming ticket, everything else came out of an ATM, which required a PIN number. So how many withdrawals did you make from the ATM using a PIN number?
None.
None.
Correct.
Okay. Now, so what do we have on your ledger from your debit card that he had use of during that period of time? 15th, 16th. Read it to me, starting with the date.
September 15th, $314.
Okay, how much?
And 95 cents, excuse me.
And was that from the ATM?
Yes. And then also Route 66 Casino on the same date, $416.95, or $18.95.
Okay, very good. 9/15. Are there any other charges after the 15th? Now, he already said he purchased a gaming card for $300.
Yeah, I'm going to show you one that shows that he has the card after that point, because when he was talking to me, he says it was on Monday. It was on Tuesday, because while he was talking to me, the refrigerated trailer ran out of fuel. It's got $60,000 of yogurt on it, ran out of fuel because he was in gambling. That's my personal opinion, of course. But when it ran out of fuel, reefers are extremely hard to start when they ran out of fuel. He had to go up to a service station, and here's the sales receipt, which he did paid with the card, and here's that receipt.
Okay, but that's for fuel, so I'm not...
Right, but it's not, you know...
And that just shows you that he had the card then.
Exactly,
on that date.
That's all I'm trying to show.
Right.
Okay.
Right, well, I got that.
Then he got the reefer started, went on the road, and he actually took... I don't have a problem with that, but he hit a tire that was in the road and knocked off 2 valves off of the tanks and came to a dead stop on the frontage road because it lost all the air, which operates the brake system. I got a mechanic.
Well, listen to me. Listen to me. That's not relevant to me. If you hired...
Okay. The only reason I was telling you is because... I was just going to show you the purpose of him having the card. Because the mechanic said unless he had a card, he wouldn't take the payment over the phone.
I believe he had the card.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I told them that there may be a person there trying to use a stolen or lost credit card to please watch for it. And then I called him back, and he says, I did it. I don't know where my head was at.
Did you report him to the police?
Trucking company owner Michael Sharbach is accusing former employee Mark Harrell of theft after Mark allegedly made unauthorized charges on a company credit card.
Now, I believe he had the card. I believe he had the card, and all of the charges that were made on the card during the time of this trip he made, the ones that he made, you didn't hire a great driver. So you have to understand that I believe that he always had possession of the card. He may have stopped using it after this fiasco that he went on. But if he used it for anything that had to do with the truck, even his own negligence, that falls on you. So I want you to read out to me the charges that were made. So far, I have a few at the casino.
Okay, on 9/17, he was at the WinStar Casino, used the card with the PIN.
Another casino.
Yes, in Thackerville, Oklahoma. He drove my truck 70 miles from Fort Worth up to Thackerville to gamble.
How much was used at that casino?
The first draw was $313. The next draw was $416.50. And there was a total of 5 of those draws, so that I don't over-repeat myself, of that amount, $416.50.
And that was with the use of a PIN number, because they came out of an ATM.
That's correct.
Okay. And have you since changed your PIN number?
Well, as soon as he told me he lost the card, I called and canceled the card and reported it stolen. And then I called him back, and he admitted that he had done it.
Oh, on what date did you have this conversation with him?
On 9/17, when I noticed all this money was out of my account, and I was asking him, what the heck?
Would you tell me about that conversation?
Well, when I first called him, I asked him, how come all this money's out of my account in Thackerville, Oklahoma? He says, I didn't do it. And I said, okay, do you have the card? He acted like he was looking in his wallet for the card. He says, nope, I don't have the card in my wallet. I must have lost it. I says, were you in Thackerville? He goes, yes, I was in Thackerville. So then I called the casino after I called Chase Bank and shut off the card, and I told them that there may be a person there trying to use a stolen or lost credit card to please watch for it. And then I called him back, and he says, I did it. I don't know where my head was at. He only used the word. And then he asked if I could work with him and he could possibly pay it back over 3 months of driving.
And what did you tell him?
I told him I would call Chase Bank.
You told him goodbye?
Well, no, I couldn't do it right there because I would have had to chase the truck clear out into Texas.
Right, I understand that. You told him goodbye on the 22nd of September.
Right, when we went, my nephew and I went and picked up the truck.
Did you report him to the police?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
So you're giving me PSA rules as opposed to being a thief?
Correct.
We both know you took his money, not for the truck, for you. And your excuse is, well, he did something wrong too. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? No, you don't.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Michael Sharbach says former employee Mark Harrell used a company credit card to steal money from him.
Did you report him to the police?
I have not yet, because I thought I was going to get it paid back. I will be honest, Your Honor, I don't like to have somebody have to go to prison, but if I don't get justice from him, I will go to the police and they can get the videos.
It's not a question of justice from him. If he is a thief and screwed up, maybe he has an addiction, but somebody else who's contemplating hiring him should have the information available.
Right, and they're supposed to contact me by legal, and he didn't report that he had driven for me. He's hired on to the new
Number
company.
one, sir, you 1099 me. You don't even pay taxes on your employees.
That's right. You're a contract employer.
If you want to talk about morality here.
Mr. Harrell.
I actually did report him. I actually do put him down on the application.
You're talking apples and oranges, sir. You're talking apples and oranges.
Okay.
You're talking about taking money that doesn't belong to you and gambling with it. Maybe it's a problem that you have. I don't know whether you have a problem with gambling or not. But if he didn't 1090 says you're an independent contractor or not, did he pay you by check or cash?
Cash. He has no paperwork of any of his drivers.
Mr. Harrell, Did you report it to the IRS?
Not really my place.
That's a question. Don't look over there. Don't look over there.
Well,
it's not his income. Listen to me. He paid you. Whether he paid you by check or cash, it's your responsibility to report your income to the IRS.
Also,
not his responsibility.
I'm not allowed
yours.
to drive a truck as an independent contractor unless I own the truck, per FMCSA rules.
So you're giving me PSA rules as opposed to being a thief?
Well, I'm just saying that he's saying that I don't use him as a reference when I actually do put him down.
He said you took his money.
Correct.
If you say to me, listen, I did take his money. It was a mistake. I'm sorry I did it. But instead of saying I took his money, which you should say, because you clearly acknowledged it to him, and I'm looking at your eyes, sir, and we both know you took his money, not for the truck, for you. Your excuse is, well, he did something wrong, too. That's your excuse. Not something wrong to you. I mean, he gave you a job, which you took. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? No, sir, that had nothing to do with the truck. Add up to what?
On those, I've got it on the claim. But one of the things I did on that claim to the court, he drove my truck 140 miles, wasted fuel. And so I charged $2 a mile.
Just like about the 4 days I sat shut down because your truck wasn't roadworthy.
Judge, don't speak. I'm not speaking to you.
The DOT inspected me in your vehicle and shut me down in the lost wages I got.
Don't speak, or else I'll just cut off your mic. You understand? I could do that.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
Now I'm going to answer you. I'm not giving you any mile. If you hired somebody, sir, who was disreputable and drove your truck so many miles in order for him to gamble, and you're charging him so much a mile, that's not part of my calculation.
Okay, that's fine.
That's your responsibility as an owner of a business. If you hire somebody that acts irresponsibly while
just took it out of
driving
his
for
pay.
you, that's on you.
Right.
But if somebody used your card for their own pleasure, either on gambling or drinking or whatever, that's not on you. That's on him.
Okay, I think that Chase Bank...
Who should I remind you? I'm speaking. I'm speaking now. Now it's not time for you to speak. And I will use my little calculator here and hope for the best.
Well, I think Chase Bank, I have a letter here of how much it was, ma'am, right here from Chase Bank.
How much was it?
What they took from the...
Just say it.
Never mind. I'm going to do it myself. $3,131. Judgment for the plaintiff. Thank you very much. We're finished. Bye.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy.
Her dog got your dog in its mouth.
Was the threat obvious?
The defendant's dog has attacked other dogs before.
She says was the other dog's fault.
Judge Judy.
Well, I felt like it was absolutely fair. He stole the money.
I lost about a week's worth of wages because his truck broke down and I was shut down by the DOT.
He complains about the truck not being worthy.
Faulty brakes, steering, suspension.
Well, he had driven 8,000 miles without anything being wrong with it.
Basically, it's not allowed in the state of California either.
He inspected and found nothing wrong.
I did lock my keys out of the car in Albuquerque. I did lose the card in Oklahoma.
If he had repaid it, I wouldn't be here in court, but there would still be an issue and he wouldn't be driving for me.
Which I did try to explain to him, and I left it in the ATM.
I think that I pity anybody that hires him.
Case of bad luck.
If you're going to hire drivers, make sure that you don't give them a card.
I chose him and I brought him home.
For what? And bring home for what?
A gift.
Don't lie to me.
A dog breeder was trying to be nice.
She was coming over every day to pet the puppies. I said, why don't you bring one home?
But the girl next door had other ideas.
Charlie told me that I was harassing her. The police called, said that I had perhaps tried to break into her home.
I don't believe that the plaintiff gave you this puppy.
This is Judge Judy. Dog breeders Mary and Michael Donnelly are suing 18-year-old Charlie Friedman for the return or value of a purebred Australian Shepherd puppy and for filing a false police report.
Judge, this is case number 176 on the count. Sworn in. Have a seat, please.
Mr. and Mrs. Donnelly, you raise and breed Australian Shepherd dogs, and according to your complaint, you've been doing that for about 3 years. The defendant is a neighbor of yours, and sometime recently, you had purchased 3 dogs from another breeder or another facility. Was that also in September that you purchased these 3 puppies?
I'm going to say the purchase probably began in August and concluded in September.
When did you receive the puppies?
September 10th of 2020.
And who did you purchase them from?
Mallory, a breeder.
And how much did you pay for the 3 puppies?
Well, there were actually 4 puppies.
I want to know how much of a check or cash did you wire for the 4 puppies?
$4,300.
For all 4 puppies?
Yes.
Were there 3 males and 1 female?
There were 2 males. Those were the ones I was buying. The 2 females were added on at a lower price because they were still available, and I bought them.
Sort of interesting that it's been my experience when you bought puppies that the females were usually more expensive than the males.
Well, normally that would be true, but in this particular case, it was... yeah.
Go ahead. It's just been my experience.
Right. The females were left over. They were still available, and she had a young child. So
whatever. You paid $1,000 for this dog. Anyway, the dog came to you on September 10th. At some point when the dog came to you, the defendant came to play with the puppies. On what date did you allow Miss Friedman to take the puppy home with her?
The very next day. He came to me on the 10th through a transporter, which I paid for. That was another $350 per puppy. As soon as the puppies came in, I let Charlie know. She was waiting for them to come in as well as I was. And then she came on the 11th.
Okay. Now, after September 11th of 2020, because this is what your case is, you want the return of the dog.
Yes.
At some point, you let the dog stay with her overnight.
Yes.
According to you, your arrangement was so she could take the dog with her, but would have to bring it back at night.
It would be actually the opposite.
She could keep the dog at night and had to bring back the dog during the day.
Right. The idea was that she could have comfort with a puppy. She was coming over every day to pet the puppies. I said, why don't you bring one home? Okay.
So she did. Now, since what date has the dog been with her full-time, night and day?
September 18th would be what I would say, September 18th.
So since September 18th, the dog has been with her and not been with you?
Yes. There's a reason for that, though, that I'd like to share.
I would like to hear it.
Supposed to come back, not every single day, I didn't clarify that, but the dog was supposed to be with us basically in the days and in Charlie at night. And that was so that we could do our testing, we could observe him, because it's more than just genetics that we're looking for. We're looking for the disposition. So we needed to know what the dog was like. But in the meantime, he could comfort Charlie, and it was working. So the first week went fine. The second week, we could see that there was a little bit of things, but I just felt that the parents can get together and work those things out. Charlie wasn't, really adhering to the agreement. And then by early November, it was obvious that she was not willing to agree to the agreement at all. So I was trying to get the dog back.
And the agreement, what was the agreement, Miss Donnelly?
That she can take him home that night. He's never off leash unless he's in his pen or inside their house. That he's well cared for and safe. So they have mountain lion and bear. That's just the area. They would bring him back to us in the daytime. Again, I didn't say every single day or something like that. And readily available for testing and breeding. And that there was to be no neutering. I laughed about the no neutering, but I definitely said that in there. The readily available for testing and breeding.
That was not to be?
Not to be neutered.
Did you have the dog neutered?
No, I did not, Your Honor.
Great.
She tried to have him neutered on January 25th. That was the end. That's where I felt I can't work with her anymore. She's 18. I thought she was 18, but when I looked, no. It was 13 days before her 18th birthday. She said that she was confused and that she wasn't old enough to make that kind of a decision. And so I've been trying to get her mom to come in, but her mom has been unwilling to get back to me. She just says she's busy.
Did you ever have her sign anything?
No.
When she took the puppy and you gave her those rules,
yes,
did she sign them or did she take them with her?
No. It was basically two friends talking. No. I was very clear about what the rules were.
Just a second. Ms. Friedman, I'm going to give you an opportunity to respond. And I want you to understand that I'm sympathetic with your position, because not only sympathetic with your position, but you've had this puppy with you now all of its life that it can remember. And you've clearly, I'm sure, bonded with this puppy. But I want you to understand that I don't believe that the plaintiff gave you this puppy. And I believe there was an agreement that if you took the puppy, she had bought the puppy for her breeding program. And now I can understand that the plaintiff would be more than happy if she saw that the dog was well adjusted and that you were taking care of the food and the vet bills and all of the other shots for the dog, that it would be once or twice, then she would clearly get the value of her money back. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
I want you to understand, I don't think that she paid $1,000 and $300 to have the dog delivered and then just gave it to you. I want you to understand that.
Yes.
Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
So if you're going to tell me that, I'm not going to believe it.
Well, she gave me the dog.
If you're going to tell me that she just gave you the dog the day after she got it, because she's a nice person, I'm probably not going to believe it.
Right.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Great. So what I'm suggesting to you is don't lie to me. Got it?
Yes. Okay, so
Now let's go back to September 11th and don't take a breath and remember what I said. You came to visit the puppies and
I got to choose out of 2 males that came from Tennessee, and I chose him and I brought him home. And
just a minute, you got to choose. No, just a second. That's a yada, yada, yada. What do you mean you got to choose? You mean she was making you a gift?
No, there was 2 male puppies that I got to pick out of and bring home.
Just a second. For what? And bring home for what?
A gift.
I've just told you I don't believe that. I'm just telling you that I don't believe that she...
We did.
Before that she was going to give you a gift of a puppy. So tell me what the agreement was before the puppy arrived. Maybe I'll believe this story.
The agreement was that I would be taking care of him. He'd be my full responsibility, and that she would want to use him for breeding in the future when he was ready.
That I absolutely believe. Do you understand?
True. Yes.
Just a second. I absolutely believe that you and she had an arrangement that you could take the dog because you're a breeder. That's your business. And if you could use the dog for breeding and she would take care of it as a puppy, that's a home run deal. Am I right, Miss Donnelly?
Yes, we saw it as a win-win. We thought that this way the pup...
It was a win-win.
The pup had the best possible life.
It was a win-win.
Right.
It was a win-win for everybody.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And are you still going to abide by that agreement?
Yes.
Ms. Friedman, you're prepared to abide by that agreement?
Yes,
Good.
Yes.
Fine. Then we will draft a contract.
May I add something?
Sure.
At this point, there's been so much going on with Charlie calling in a false police report saying that she was, I believe she was trying to get a restraining order. The reason why the dog is still with Charlie is because we've been blocked from him for the last 2.5 months. I was told not to go up there and harassing her. The police called, said that I had perhaps tried to break into her home. Then she tried to have the dog neutered, and the dog has been off leash. I found him down at the bottom of their driveway at night. There's mountain lion, there's bear. She's not honoring any part of the agreement. None of it. There's no reason why she's going to start now.
Do you have the vet records for the dog?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to take a look at them. I'd like to see, did you have the puppy inoculated?
No, I did not.
Yes.
You didn't? Why not?
Well, I thought that was meant neutered.
No, yes, you did.
Oh, sorry.
Is that your dad?
That's
Let
my
him stand
father.
up with you. Let him stand up with you. Okay, I just want to know, you're Mr. Friedman?
Yes.
Good. The dog has been to the vet and has had all of its shots, and you have proof of that.
Yes, she does.
Okay, I'd like to see it, please. Just put it up.
I gave him all his puppy shots.
Any other vet bills?
I chipped him, and he was that.
Okay, great. Birthday 7/8. Okay.
I'd like to mention about the chipping, if I could.
Go ahead.
When Charlie said that she wanted to chip because she was afraid that the dog could get lost, I thought that was a good idea. I said, just give me the name, date, and time, and I'll be there as the owner. And Charlie said, never mind, or something like that, and it never came up again.
Well, Miss Donald, you understand the problem, and you said it very well. And I congratulate you for saying it very well. You said it was a win-win for everybody. It was a win for the dog, who I'd still like to see, by the way. The dog is here. Could I take a look at it? Could somebody put a camera on that dog? Well, he looks very well cared for. He looks beautiful and very well cared for.
The vet that they brought him to, the Missouri Flat Animal Hospital, they said that they had to ask her to leave with the dog, that he was uncontrollable and that he would have to come back. But when he came back the second time, it was for neutering, and she said he was much more behaved then. That's when the vet told Charlie that he's too young to be neutered. It's not in his best interest, and Charlie said to neuter him anyway.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I drove Charlie up to her house, and she told me that I gave Charlie the dog for her birthday.
Pay careful attention to me. Your daughter listened to what I said.
I know.
And she told me the truth.
Dog breeders Mary and Michael Donnelly claim Charlie Friedman stole their Australian Shepherd puppy and then filed a false police report against them.
Okay, what I'm telling you is he has not been neutered, correct?
To the best of my knowledge, unless she's done it after that.
Correct.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Yes.
And the plaintiff had an agreement, Mr. Friedman.
I'd just like to say one
What?
thing. I drove Charlie up to her house like the day after she gave the dog to her, and that lady there, Mary, came up to my car, and she told me I hope you don't mind that I gave Charlie the dog for her birthday, because her birthday was just 2 weeks down the road.
Mr.
That-
Friedman, Mr. Friedman, Mr. Friedman, Mr. Friedman,
Yes.
pay careful attention to me. Your daughter listened to what I said.
I know.
And she told me the truth, which was Miss Donnelly said to her, you can pick which one you want. You take him home. It's a win-win. The dog will have a good home, somebody to have full attention. You will have the companion that you needed, and they will have the opportunity to breed the
Right,
dog
and that's what I was gonna
when
say.
they want to. Hey, that's what your daughter told me. That was their agreement. And that does sound like a win-win for everybody. So you do understand that I am going to create an order that's what the two of you have agreed to. Ms. Friedman, do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
And I'll make that order for a finite time. How old, Miss Donnelly, would this puppy have to be before he can be bred?
When he's a year old. But, Your Honor, I can't work with Charlie. For her to call in a false police report telling me that I broke in, we're afraid to go.
Miss Donnelly,
yes.
Now we're going to have an order that's totally, right now it's been acrimonious. This is not going to be acrimonious anymore because both you and Charlie are saying the same thing. You agree that you made a deal with her.
Yes, I do.
And the deal was that she could breed the dog. And you understand that in order to do that, she is going to pick up the dog and then return the dog to you once that breeding process is complete.
Right.
Do you understand that?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
And is that what you're agreeing to?
Yes, I am.
That's what you're agreeing to?
Yes.
And how often, Miss Donnelly, do you usually keep the dog for how long during that breeding process?
It's just an afternoon, and it's probably 5 or 6 times a year. But the problem has been is that every time I've made an appointment for Charlie, I can't even get him tested or anything. Every time I make an appointment, she breaks it. The last time was 49 minutes before the appointment.
Miss Donnelly, you're not getting the dog back. I want you to understand that. So I want you to be more helpful to me in crafting a resolution. You're not getting the dog back. What kind of testing do you want for the dog?
Genetic testing. I need to observe him to see his disposition. There's the first thing. Every year they get the eyes done, then there's elbows and there's hips that gets x-rayed.
Just a second. What I'm telling you is for 1 year, you will be able to breed this dog 5 to 6 times. That's how I'm resolving this case. That's going to be for 1 year. That means for 1 year, 5 or 6 times. And if you want genetic testing, which I actually think probably is a good idea before you breed the dog, I will incorporate that I will incorporate that in my order, which indicates that you are to have possession on 48 hours notice to the defendant that you're going to pick up the dog, or she'll bring the dog to you, which is probably even better, so that you can take the dog in to have the dog genetically tested. Do you want to bring the dog to her for genetic testing? Or do you want her to come to you?
Go to her.
I think that that's a wiser idea.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
If you violate the conditions of this order, I will create another order without another hearing that enables her with a marshal to come and get the dog. Do you understand that?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Dog breeders Mary and Michael Donnelly are accused of Italian Shepherd puppies.
Now, she will bring the dog to you for genetic testing one time, and she will bring the dog to you up to 6 times for breeding for 1 year. Now, I want you to understand this. This is the order that you're consenting to. If you violate the conditions of this order, I will create another order without another hearing that enables her with a marshal to come and get the dog. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You own this dog conditionally for the next year when Miss Donnelly and her husband have the right to breed this dog in order to make back their money.
Right.
Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And I think that that's fair. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
You're not getting the dog back.
I understand what you've said. I heard you, yes.
Right.
What I'm saying is that there's more than just the one-time genetic testing. There's the hips, there's the elbows. It's entirely possible I might not be able to breed him this year. It depends on his hips and elbows until next year. And then I have to bring him in for those. Eyes, hips, elbows. There are 3 different places, and the genetic is a 4th. I can't do it in one visit. It's not possible.
Okay, so if what you're saying is that you wouldn't breed him until he's a year old, when was his birthday?
July 26th, I believe.
You said July 6th.
July, he'll be 1 year.
Yes.
Okay, and you're not going to breed him until August 1 of 2021.
It depends on the testing.
Until...
So possibly,
I'm putting that in. If it doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen. This is a resolution. It's not perfect, but the dog is hers. I'm fashioning what I consider to be a reasonable resolution so that you're not out of pocket the money that you spent on this dog, so that you have some benefit from it. You haven't had the responsibility of feeding it and taking care of it for the last 5.5 months.
But
that's
again,
not your fault.
He's been.
That's not all your fault. But, Miss Donnelly, that's not the agreement you made with her.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by. Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okay. In any event, from August 1st, 2021 to July 31st, 2022, you have the right up to 6 times a year to use the dog for breeding purposes. Need the dog tested on 3 additional days, either prior to or immediately after 8/1/2021. She is to deliver the dog to you on 48 hours' notice for testing. Do you understand?
Yes.
That's the order. Thank you very much. We're done.
Thank you, Your Honor.
If you don't, the second order automatically goes into effect and she comes to your house with a marshal to pick up the dog.
Yes, Your
Got
Honor.
it?
Yes.
Great. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy, a party venue opened as the virus raged.
How many people were at your party? Twins? A group of adults and children all together. For what? During a pandemic.
Judge Judy.
I am really happy I get to keep him.
I'm relieved that it's over.
When Mary gets a hold of me, we can breed him, meet up, and do the testing.
It's a very challenging situation.
He means everything. He's everything to me.
I just think that you should get animals honestly, not through dishonest means.
You were cooking out of your home for profit.
Said, please beware and don't purchase from her.
Do you have a food license to be able to cook and sell to the public?
No, I don't.
The judge has no appetite for dishonesty.
You knew you were breaking the law when you were cooking and selling food out of your house. You don't have a love affair with the truth.
This is Judge Judy. Colleen Fuller is suing Moshe Platt for defamation of character and loss of income after Moshe slandered her on Facebook.
Judge's case number 160 on the calendar in the matter of Fuller versus Platt. Parties have been sworn in. Folks, have a seat, please.
Ms. Fuller, this is what I gather from your complaint. Because of the COVID pandemic, the governor of your state, Governor Newsom in California, closed all restaurants to in-person dining indoors. But would you stop moving around, please? You're making me seasick.
Sorry.
And you belong to some sort of a food group. You posted, according to you, on your Facebook page, a statement, which I will look at. According to you, the statement indicated that you were going to be sort of a vigilante, and if you knew anyone who was breaking the rule and allowing for indoor dining, you were going to report them.
Correct.
Tell me exactly what you to me.
Okay. It says, if I see any inside dining open, I'm calling OSHA, ABC, whoever I need to, point blank, period.
Okay, and that's all you said?
Yes.
As a result of that, the defendant, who you knew, you say called you.
She called me at my job. She didn't call my phone directly.
That's not true.
Well, just a second. Hold on a second. How would somebody that doesn't know you know where you work?
Because she's friends with my employer's daughter. And she called my employer's daughter and got the phone number that way.
Are you telling me that prior to receiving a call from her, you didn't know who she was?
I knew who she was, but when she called,
Okay.
that was the first conversation I've ever had with her in my life.
I'm not asking you whether that's the first conversation. You knew who she was.
Yes.
Had you ever seen her before?
Yes.
Where had you seen her before?
I seen her one time at Food for Less.
And what was the defendant doing there?
Shopping.
So you were just two strangers shopping?
Yes.
Did you exchange any word, like a hello?
She did with my employer.
You mean you were just standing there?
Yes, I was loading groceries onto the belt to be rang up.
So aside from that one meeting where she was there and spoke to your employer, you had never seen her employer introduce you to her?
No.
So she didn't know your name?
She did know my name.
Wow.
Because my sister,
just a second.
Okay, sorry.
Just explain to me. I'm not getting, these are not two strangers that she called you up. I'm trying to get to the truth of it. You're making it difficult for me.
Okay, well, she knows who I am and I know who she is because our sisters used to be best friends about 15 years ago.
So according to you, that's the way you know her. Your sisters used to be best friends.
Yes.
Had you seen her 15 years ago?
No.
If your sisters were best friends?
No.
Never saw her?
No, I didn't
never
live with my
spoke to
sister
her?
when growing up. I didn't live with my sister growing up.
How do you know your sister was best friends with her sister?
Because I was around her sister. When she would hang out with my sister and sometimes I would be visiting with her, she would be there.
Her sister?
Yes.
So that there is a connection. I'm just trying to figure out how a person, because she's in the restaurant business.
Right.
And she, according to you, called you, you say, at your place of employment.
Yes.
And threatened you about this post that you put up on your Facebook page that you're going to report anybody that you see violating the rule about indoor dining to whomever will listen, whatever media outlet will. Subsequent to that phone call, which I'm sure was unpleasant, you decided to do some sort of a fundraiser. And your fundraiser was for whose benefit?
For my brother.
Why?
Because he has schizophrenia and he also has a substance abuse problem, and I was trying to raise money to get him into treatment.
Is that what you wrote in your fundraising advertising?
No, I didn't. I really didn't want to put his business out there like that.
So what did you say?
I have the poster right here, what I had, if you would like me to read it to you.
Sure.
Okay. It says, all homemade, delicious chili beans and white rice and cornbread and fried chicken. Can also put crackers if you'd like. Nice size servings and $10 a plate or 2 for $15. I can also deliver for free. And then I posted pictures.
Just a second. It doesn't say that you're doing it for anything other than yourself. It
Right.
doesn't say anything about fundraiser.
It doesn't say anything,
It doesn't
but that's
say
what
anything.
it was for.
I don't care what you're selling me now it was for, because I believe that that's probably a whole lot of baloney. So what you were doing is you were cooking out of your home for commercial sale for profit. That's what you were advertising. $10 a plate or 2 for $15. You advertised what it was. According to you, $100, and people would come to your house and pick up food. Is that what the idea was?
Yes. I was delivering, actually.
Okay. You made about, according to you, about $300 when the defendant posted on her Facebook page what you consider a defamatory statement.
Yes.
About what you were doing, making and selling food for profit out of your home. And you want to tell me what she said about you, because that's the basis of your lawsuit.
Right.
What did she say?
Would you like me to read the whole post or just the part that the whole thing?
Yeah, is it very long? This is only a half-hour program.
Okay, I'll just read you this part. So she said, someone has a very serious health issue that can kill with one drop of blood, so please beware and don't purchase from her. And she posted pictures of my comment and my post that I made selling the food along with that statement.
Okay, put it up so I can read the whole thing now. Now put it up on evidence. Can I see the replies?
I don't think I have the replies for that post.
Just a second. Well, would you tell me where she mentions your name?
My name is pictures of my picture with my name right next to it with the stuff that I posted along with what she said.
Yeah, I think you could probably put, but that says under replies.
Oh.
Is that what you posted, Miss Platt? Miss Platt?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I did write this.
So no, I saw that you wrote it. I'm asking you, you posted, it says under replies, you posted.
Yes, I did post, but underneath the replies, this is from Madeira to Go. Those where you see it says replies, that is from the Madeira to Go group page that we had. That's not the replies from the Madeira online garage sale. There was no replies coming from me. It was just other people replying that she was a hater, that she's a hypocrite for trying to call OSHA or whatever.
I'm just saying, I don't know who posted that.
If I may, ma'am?
No.
Okay.
I'll get to you in a second.
Okay.
I'm looking at her statement.
Mm-hmm. If I can clear up where it says replies, Your Honor, that's a screenshot of what I had posted originally saying I would call OSHA on people.
I understand. I understand that.
So she put my comment that I had made about calling OSHA on people along with my post of selling food with the statement that she said all in one post. She added the screenshots as pictures.
All right. I just want to make certain that there's a tie-in. Okay. So the only problem that she has is, just FYI, someone has a very serious health issue that can kill with a drop of blood, so please beware and don't purchase from her. You all be safe. So the someone that she's talking about, even though she posted your picture, you want me to tie the two in together, the someone, even though she doesn't mention your name.
Yeah, well, it's kind of goes hand in hand. If you put my picture and saying this, and saying what she said, the person reading it would believe that she's talking about me.
I could do that. Now, let's get back to you. Do you have a food license to be able to cook and sell to the public?
No, I don't.
Do you have a cottage license, which allows you to cook certain things in your house, that your house has been inspected?
No, I don't.
No, you don't.
No.
So that you were breaking the law when you were cooking and selling food out of your house during COVID.
Yes.
And you knew you were breaking the law when you were cooking and selling food out of your house with COVID. I want you to understand that I'm not buying the sick brother story.
I actually have proof that my brother, he was put in an institution. I wouldn't lie about that, Your Honor.
Just a second. I'm not questioning whether your brother is sick. I'm questioning whether you paid for it from the food you were making.
Well, he was put on a 5150 hold, so nobody paid for it. But what I'm saying is I couldn't even put him in a drug treatment program because everything I was doing was stopped.
Let me tell you that you didn't use this $300 for your brother. That's what I'm saying to you. I don't believe that. And you're saying to me, well, that's true, but I would have if I could have, if they let me. But instead, I used the $300 for myself. What you were doing is for profit.
I did not use it for myself.
For profit, selling food out of your house without a license during COVID.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I don't like people who come to court and skirt around the truth, have a difficult time addressing and greeting the truth. That's a very hard thing for me.
Colleen Fuller says Moshe Platt slandered her on Facebook, causing her to lose income. Moshe is countersuing also for loss of income and harassment.
Who do you work for?
I work for in-home support services.
So you see different people all the time?
No, I just have one client.
Or you stay with one? You have the same client now?
Yes, I've had for 8 years.
As part of your work responsibility, just so that I know, how often are you COVID tested?
I get tested once every 2 weeks.
Okay, now I'm going to turn to you for a second. So I get the gist of it. What your countersuit is, which is ridiculous, which I'm not even entertaining, you say because she posted that post about in-room dining, I was forced to temporarily close my business, and people threaten me on social media. Whatever she said, if somebody threatened you, then they're an idiot, because she didn't name you, according to what she read to me.
Okay, so...
Unless you're telling me, just a second.
Okay.
Did she write anything specific about you on her Facebook page?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'd like to see what she specifically wrote about you.
Okay, so, because I know you have 30 minutes to do the show, I was sleeping and I woke up to a text message with a screenshot saying that, hey, are you okay, cousin? And I was like, yes. And I said, why?
Just, hey.
Yes, ma'am.
Listen to me.
Yes, ma'am.
I asked you to show me something, not speak.
Okay. It says Brianne Fuller, which I'm also assuming that it's her other account because I didn't speak to anyone else.
So why? Just a second. I want you to show me her original post.
This is the...
I don't care about that.
That is the original post. She said she spoke to that black Moshe Robinson, and she called and said about...
I don't care. I don't care.
Okay,
I don't
not
care
a problem.
About that. That's nonsense.
And then
That's
I have
nonsense.
text messages as well.
That's a nonsense.
I do have text messages if you want proof of that as well.
Shh. Just a second. I'm dismissing the part of your complaint that has to do with defamation. There's no defamation. It's just nasty speak.
Okay.
Now, the other part of your counterclaim, which I'm going to get rid of, is for harassment for $2,000. I want you to pick the worst text message she sent to you. The worst. Pick the worst text message she sent to you.
So this is the text messages.
Don't speak. Don't speak. Just put it up on the evidence board.
Okay, here is... She was using my uncle's stuff, so... Sorry. There's like a long list of them.
No, would you do me a favor? I said to you, pay attention. The worst text message she sent.
I have another one. Would you like to see them?
Sure.
Okay.
Show me the other one.
And then
Show me the other one. That's not a
threat. This one right here is from my uncle's cell phone, which she called me from, which I have the screenshots of that as well. Watch the turnout. And I said, is that a threat to me? And that one here. And then on social media,
Also
she
nothing.
said she was going to slap me. It's right there in...
Okay. Very good. Very good. Your counterclaim is dismissed. Now let's get back to what we're really talking about. You're going to explain to me, if you wrote, she has a disease that if people came in contact with even one drop of her blood, it could kill them. What did you write?
Just what it says there. It says someone. It says someone. It does not say her because I didn't want to put my family member on blast because they do live together. That is the reason why I said someone.
Are you telling me that the person, because in your answer says it's your uncle?
Yes.
Lives with her?
Yes.
Now?
Yes. When I had spoken to him on the phone, I said, do you know a Colleen Fuller? And she's carrying his last name, okay? So I said, do you know her? And his reply was, yes, I know her. I said, is that your wife? Is that your girlfriend? And he was like, well, we're not together anymore, but she does. Correct. I have no reason to lie.
Just a second. Your uncle says she's not my girlfriend anymore?
Mm-hmm. Lie.
But she still lives here with me?
Correct. And he said that she's her own woman and she could speak for herself. Would you like to speak to her? I said, yes.
That's a lie, Your Honor.
You have your uncle's phone number?
Yes, ma'am.
Give it to me.
559.
Just tell me his first name. You want me to make this call?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You're coming to court with unclean hands.
But I'm not talking about the part that she said that I'm selling food. I'm just talking about the disease part.
I don't care.
Nobody said you had a disease.
stories, real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Colleen Fuller is accusing Moshe Platt of slandering her on Facebook, causing her to lose income.
Okay. Number's been disconnected. Let's try it again.
Your Honor, that's the correct
559.
number. 559. I said that's the correct number. 559 is his phone number.
Okay. So you know her uncle.
He's my employer. I've been working for him through in-home support for 8 years. But I've never
Just a
dated this
second.
gentleman, ever.
Oh, now I got it. Just a second. Why didn't you just tell me that instead of saying my employer?
He's not her uncle. He even asked me, why does she keep calling me her uncle? And I'm not related to her, no way, shape, or form. That's what he told
My
me.
cousin is Ebony.
All right, just a second. I'm going to make this very simple for myself.
Okay.
Because I don't like people who come to court and skirt around the truth, have a difficult time addressing and greeting the truth. That's a very hard thing for me. But I don't even have to reach the point whether I think that she defamed you. You were operating out of your home an illegal food operation during a pandemic, exposing the public.
Your Honor,
You go to
the part
grocery
that I'm,
stores, you're out shopping.
The defamation part that I'm talking about is not...
Let's understand each other.
I understand you,
Let's
Your Honor.
understand each other.
I do.
Let's understand me. You're coming to court with unclean hands. Your unclean hands are you broke the law.
But I'm not
You
talking about the
broke-
part that she's saying that I'm selling food. I'm just
Oh.
talking about the disease part.
Nobody said you had a disease.
I don't care what you are.
Yes, ma'am.
What you are asking the court is for help, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You're asking the court for help. And you're coming to court having broken the law with relation to the same incident. And I'm not helped.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by. Are you the victim of an assault? Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
Now, if you had said to me, listen, I know, put your hand down.
Yes, ma'am.
Put your hand down.
Yes, ma'am.
If you had said to me, I know her, this is how I know her. I worked for a man for 8 years who she keeps calling her uncle. I don't think it's her uncle. And she used to be best friends. I had to pull it out of you. She
Her
used to be
sister.
best friends with my sister.
her sister.
Goodbye. We're done with you. You don't have a love affair with the truth.
Your Honor,
and
but
you
you're
came
not
to
letting
court
me
with
explain my
unclean
case. If
hands.
you would let me
Goodbye.
explain,
We're
please.
done. I heard enough. That's it.
But I'm
What about
telling-
my
to
lost
court.
wages, ma'am?
I'm telling the truth, Your
What
Honor.
about my lost wages,
you
ma'am?
could-
I lost business because of her.
If you could call my
Listen to
employer,
me.
he could tell
I
you.
dismissed your counterclaim. You weren't paying attention. You were too busy talking.
I had to pay
I'm
back
done, Bert.
$4,000
Would you tell
for
them to
my
leave?
customer.
Case is concluded. Parties are excused.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I was in jail for the assault.
There was 2 assaults.
It was a bad idea to bring back her ex.
Me.
Judge Judy.
The comment that I had posted on Facebook, she took personally. It was nothing directed towards her.
She came for me and she came for.
It wasn't directed towards her because she doesn't have inside dining.
Someone is a fraud like